Kohol Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakwakwadash. Want to give double honors and praises to the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. I've been teaching this 100% truth for many years now. I also want to say Shalom to the Akim who take this same knowledge and spread it far and wide to the four corners of the earth. And I want to say Shalom to the few sincere sisters who are listening and learning in silence. So to everybody who I just mentioned, I want to say Shalom. And this video was inspired by, it must have been either the first or second or maybe the third YouTube short that I saw as soon as I came home. And it's mainly it's mainly about spiritual wickedness, right? We know that it's interesting. We know that Esau, their main gift is the sword, right? Not their main gift. Their gift, right? It is the sword, which modern day, it's their weaponry, right? Their, you could say, military prowess, and it's surrounded by a fuck ton of quotations because we see what's going on in the Middle East now. Okay, but even then, right? Their blessing, right? The gift was and is the sword. Okay, and the way I heard about a brother put it is that it can mean the sword in a very literal sense, right? Like um, whether it's their guns or their missiles. And another way they use the sword is, to attack the food, right? Attack the water, attack your minds, right? They have mastered ways to attack every part of life, right? Whether it's a physical attack, right? Or whether it's an indirect, or direct attack through the food, the water, the air, right? Or, giving you vaxes, I don't know if I can say that, but you know what I mean, right? The COVID-19, right? Putting poison in you, or in your food, or in your water, or throughout the air, or whether it's a bullet through you, right? Or a missile, whatever. They've mastered the sword in many different ways, and all these things that I mentioned, they vex the spirit, but really it's meant to damage the physical, right? The carnal. It's meant to damage the flesh. But there's still some very wicked Edomites out there who specialize in trying to well, they do manage to damage the spirit, but what I meant to say, they try to completely conquer the spirit or the souls of people. Okay, and they do it in many different ways. First and foremost, by corrupting your soul, right? By telling you lies and having you to indoctrinate into their beliefs. But one thing that is not very common, I know it's not very common because I, I I've known about this, what I'm about to get speaking on. I've known about this type of witchcraft that these heathens uh, partake in, right? These heathens plan, and um, not the specific story about the first. It's not a story, not the specific event regarding LeBron, because obviously it's I guess it's new news. I guess it's a if you even care for sports, which really I don't. Like I said, it's the first three um, videos that popped up on my For You, and I knew exactly what it was. And obviously, it's a form of witchcraft. Okay, so they use the power of the sword, right? The power to damage things in many ways, and one way that they, can I say they've been doing it recently? I guess, and it's nothing new, right? There's nothing new under the sun, as uh, well. I'll show you in some scriptures that I'm going to read, but something that people are beginning to open their eyes to is their witchcraft that they partake in, okay? And especially using their wicked language, English, and the numbers that, they relate the English letters and words to numbers, match it with the date, with a certain time, okay? If you look hard enough, which please don't even begin to try to decode or stress your mind trying to understand some of these rituals. Just know that if you stick close to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, these things, Lord willing, you can't, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai won't let these things get to you, to affect you, right? And, another brother was saying, um, I think they asked them if he was going to like some Caribbean Carabina whatever event whatever, and he declined it. He said he doesn't go to those things, right? It's too dangerous. Those big crowds, okay, especially now, right? Where we're just looking for the next Black Swan event. We're just looking for the next FF false flag. We're looking for the next TRI attack, right? TRI, the word. Can't say it on YouTube. We're just looking for the next thing to escalate the sense of danger across the world. We know because we know it's coming, and we know Esau. Hey, that's that. Not only for the people there, of course, it's a physical attack, but it's a huge mental attack. It's a huge spiritual attack on the people who hear about it and maybe have lost ones, and you know they these Edomites, man, they go far and beyond to plan their wickedness. Rest assured. The same way, you know, the same way the elders here have studied, right, for countless, not countless, but years. Man, they've studied for longer than I've been alive. Okay, their ultimate dedication to studying towards righteousness, the same is in reverse for these Edomites who countlessly, endlessly search out ways to corrupt the masses, right? Spiritually, physically, in any way they can. Okay, so with putting that big intro aside, I want to show you a video. This is one very minute, very small, um, one very small example of the witchcraft that they do, where they use Jake, okay, because we are damn near like superheroes, okay? People are obsessed with looking at us on TV performing damn near, modern day, less, carnal, no, not spiritual miracles, right? Oh my God, LeBron, 50 freaking points, 20 rebounds. Oh my gosh, whole time. Some of these sports, a lot of these sports actually be scripted, okay? And, not to say the guy's a bad basketball player, but a lot of these things, a lot of these things, it's it's likened onto how Rome had the circus. Okay, it's just a distraction. No, nothing of value. It's all vanity. These sports, these records being broken, the trades. If I know one thing about Edomites, especially here in Canada, they love discussing. Oh my God, this new up and coming hockey kid is getting 18.3 million. Goodness gracious, man, these kids are. It's like, and then they put the jersey of another man on their back. Or if it's a music guy, right? They start copying his lingo or whatever, wearing the guy's merch, whatever. Respecters of man, just wasting time. Now, it's not a sin to watch basketball or play it or listen to music, but when you know what really goes on behind the scenes towards that, okay, you don't let this be the whole maybe not the word's not purpose, but you don't let it be your whole life's focus. I'll leave it like that, right? When you know that there are forces behind these people who say, hey, today do this, hey, today wear that, hey, today say this in the news, hey, today do this with your hands, right? Different groups, right? And one group I'll call out, okay? And I know nobody really watches this, but still I'll call them out because I know they're involved, is the damn Jesuits. That wicked, wicked, wicked organization. Those Jesuits, the Pope and his whole crew, you know, wicked organization like the Freemasons. They all are involved in this specific type of witchcraft, which we're about to watch now. I'll show you now, okay?
Braun trade, him going to Philly. You guessed it.
Salaki, I don't know why it's not showing.
So this whole LeBron trade, him going to Philly, you guessed it, it's a ritual. How? A Kobe Bryant ritual. Now I gotta know. So he announced that he is going to Philly, which is a weird move. Why Philly? Why Philly? Oh yeah, Kobe Bryant's from Philadelphia.
Interesting. Salaki, for just pausing like 5 seconds in, I just wanted to say, even Bryant's death, okay, I don't know how much I could really say, but this guy's death, who you see on the screen, that happened, was it right before or right after 2020, the big major health scare that shook the world, right? That was a ritualistic death, okay? That helicopter crash, lots of numbers involved with that. It's all stuff that many people have seen. I'm not gonna go into it today. It's something I've seen already. I don't care to remember because, hey, it has something to do with this video, but this video I'm watching here has something to do with this video, so it's enough, okay? And I don't really care of the things of this world. Anyways, this is not gonna help me. Specifically me, it's not gonna help me to get any closer to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, okay? Because I know of the wickedness already, right? If you're still in the fence, then yeah, I'd urge you to, research, right? Especially like Jake, we're getting a lot of our men are young and talented, right? Young and talented and can do these sports at a higher level. But if you knew what happens in the background, you might consider otherwise, right? You should consider otherwise. And because if you don't, and you get around, the crowd in the back, right? The secret clubs, right? That you don't hear about, but you definitely see their work all around the world. You could be approached to make sacrifices that you deem too far for you, right? Or you could be how can I say, you could be enticed, right, to give up part of your humanity or give up your morals to make it further in Esau's world. And well, there's no benefit to doing that. Okay, there's no benefit to getting as far as you can, going all the way in, right, in this world, when there's something much beautiful, something perfect that is to come in the very near future. So let's just continue really quick with this.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So he announced this on the 24th, and he signed for $8 million. Come on. So you mean to tell me that Kobe Bryant wore the number 8 and 24? Huh.
Sounds like a high-level Masonic ritual.
Interesting. Let's keep moving. Philadelphia. We all know that Kobe's from there and whatnot, right? Right before Kobe passed, what did LeBron do?
He passed him, and Kobe passed. The next day,
He passes Kobe Bryant for the scoring title.
you know what number that was?
33.
33.
Yep, 33,000 and then something else.
Something, yeah.
He passes him. The next day, Kobe Bryant dies. And then he passed his scoring title where? In Philadelphia. It was in Philadelphia.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Yes. In that same game, they had a snake on the floor, cut up in 8 pieces. You can zoom in. There's the snake right there.
Wait, where? It's right there.
It's right here.
Right by LeBron.
So it's a snake cut up in 8 pieces.
Why is that even there? What's the significance? Besides, you passed Kobe, but that's kind of disrespectful, though.
Yeah, I mean,
If I was Kobe, I would be like,
Yeah,
what do you mean you cut me up? Like,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm the Black Mamba, and you cut up the Black Mamba. Then, Kobe's father, Jelly Bean Bryant. What number did Jelly Bean Bryant wear?
Don't say.
23.
23.
Now, what number does LeBron wear?
23.
Oh, 23. So you mean that he's going to be wearing the same number for the same team now? And he's not only passing Kobe and using a Kobe.
Let me see the tweet.
23. Now, what
That means
number
anything.
does LeBron wear?
23.
Oh, 23. So you mean that he's going to be wearing the same number for the same team now?
Okay, emojis, random emojis.
He's not only passing Kobe and using a Kobe ritual logos, but now his father too. Gets even weirder. There is a tattoo on LeBron's chest, right here. That is the boule.
Oh, so he's a part of the boule.
Now, does anybody want to take a wild guess where the boule was started? In Philadelphia.
There you go.
In Philly? Yes.
Sure.
Get the fuck out of
You
here.
can't tell me that's not a ritual.
The boule, which means a council of noblemen, and then in French, it's ball. Now, here's the theory. The theory is the reason that he keeps playing is because once he stops playing, there's some type of sacrifice that he has to give up. His son, a couple years ago, cardiac arrest. So he keeps playing, keeps playing, keeps playing. Now he's in his final 2 years. Here's the thing. He says on X, "This is my last decision. I'm not going for the money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete, to win, to have a chance at the feeling of winning."
Made sure he put that in there, first line.
He said, "I want to sacrifice." How many years did he play for the Lakers for?
How many? Don't say 8.
8. And what year is this year that he's going into?
2027?
The 24th.
Oh, this is his 24th year.
This is 24th.
No, that's too many.
That's too many.
That's too many.
It's too many.
And 1 second. Yeah. Salaki, I was just called there. But there people will say that, oh, this is a coincidence, right? These are all coincidences. And first and foremost, everything is preordained, okay? And really, if you really believe that, right, you also believe that it's all preordained by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, first and foremost, right? For these people to die, or for these people to bug out, or for these people to hear the name and fall out, or for these people to hear the name and continue, or for these people to get in to this sport, or to break a leg, or to break a collarbone, whatever, right? Everything is already preordained, and these Edomites, specifically, specific groups of them, okay? And I didn't even mention the small hatters, and they're wicked. I'm not even gonna say the name, and I, never do, because it was such a, and it was before I knew the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and before I believed in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai 100% fully. I knew of um, this witchcraft, and don't get me twisted. I didn't partake. Okay, I didn't partake. Right. I just knew that these small hatters, they had their own form too, right? And there's no coincidence, right? So you see the number and the connections, and you know they got you, right? Who knows what happened? Even if LeBron has heard the names, wants to convert, maybe he loves his son more than he loves righteousness, right? Maybe he loves his family, his son, more than he loves Yahweh Ba'Shim Yahushai. So he'll keep playing until, even when he does quit, I mean, who knows if these people just take him out anyways, right? It's a wicked, horrible trap to fall into. Um, before I get to scriptures, there's one more that I wanted to show you people. There's a singer. His name is Prince, okay? And he made a song, I Would Die For You. Okay, I honestly never listened to the song, and it's whatever. I don't really care for Prince. I'm not saying he's a bad guy or whatever, but although from what I know about him, he's a little flamboyant. I don't think he's like Young Thug. He put on a dress, but still, he's kind of a feminine guy. I guess his voice is good. Either way, I'm 28, so this music is a little bit past me. But why I brought him up in that song specifically. I'm not gonna tell you what happened, but go search it up. Go search up what time, what date he died, right? And then so keep the number 4 as the month. So January, February, April. Well, shit, I'm tripping. January, February. Oh shit, I'm embarrassing myself. Hold on. Um, January, February, March, April. Okay, 4. Of course, I fucked that up on camera. That's okay. Um, April 4 being the 4th month, and then go check the date, right? What day in April he died, okay? And that U, convert the letter U into a number, right? U being the 21st. You search it up, okay? Search it up for yourself, okay? Search it up for yourself. Come back to me. Tell me that's just a coincidence, okay? But now I'm going to read scriptures in the Bible where, many Israelites have, many, these things are not new, okay? And there's nothing new under the sun. These things happen today, so they must have happened back in the day as well, okay? The first one, we'll go to Psalms chapter 64, verse 2 through 6, and it reads, excuse me, and it reads, and this is David, I'm just reading the header, right? He's like making prayer for deliverance from secret enemies. So so it's a song, maybe, right? And it's so from 2 to 6, and it reads, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from their insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may at shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. The point is in 2, where King David would seem like he's asking Yahweh, well, Yahweh Shai, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Okay? Because these wicked people, right, these Edomites, this shit is really planned deeply, like planned ahead of time, right? On specific date, this guy wearing this specific jersey, who was also born on this specific date, is going to do this specific thing, right? He's going to do a specific action, a verb. And that verb, whether it's fighting, it'll be blasted all throughout the news. And fighting, you change the letters Fighting into numbers, and it gives you a number, and it'll be and then that number will equal the date that the specific guy they're plotting on is doing the fighting, like stuff like this. Basically numerology, okay, without saying the real thing that these small hats do, right? Same thing with the Jesuits, same thing with these Freemasons. They all partake in this level of witchcraft, okay? And don't think if you don't think things like witchcraft is true, let me just give you 2 scriptures that I have here speaking against it. Okay, so please don't think this is wumbo jumbo, wumbo mumbo bullcrap. No, it's really real. Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 9. I'll read to 13, and it reads, "But these 2 things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments." Okay, and this is a curse. Damn near. Can I get the header? A lament for Babylon. This is Yahweh saying this thing will come because of the perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries that the Israelites have been doing, and for the great abundance of enchantments that the Israelites are partaking in. Okay, so now we continue to 10. "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, None seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me." Basically saying, basically the Israelites were saying, I am, as if, I'm God, right? And nobody can do it like me, right? Not acknowledging that there's a higher power above us, okay? And really, that's really the spirit, okay? And I just got finished watching another live stream, okay, from one of the brothers. I think they were doing it's like a indoor camp type deal, like not really camp, but indoor, like teaching, right, with many brothers. And they were saying for how many years, the brother said he was born in the 60s, so he saw all the revolutions or whatever the fuck, black pride, whatever thing, right, they were doing, and it's all failed, okay? And it all failed because you relied on your own strength, you relied on yourselves, right, to break out of your captivity, not knowing that it's only Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai at his appointed time that is going to break us out of this captivity, okay? And, the captivity we're under, hey, much deserved, okay? Because look, right? Multitude of sorceries, great abundance of thy enchantments, okay? Verse 10, we call ourselves I am, and none else beside me. Are that pride, right, that these people had in the past, and they have it today, okay? Now here goes 11. "Therefore shall evil come upon thee, that shall not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly." which thou shalt not know. Hmm. This is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai saying, right? For these wicked things, because of those wicked things we have partaken in the past, this is the punishment. Okay? Now, this is verse 12 is like Yahweh Hashem Yahushai teasing, taunting us, right? He says, stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. He's saying, okay, if they work, go ahead. If they work, continue, right? If they work, let's see you get out of this, right? 13. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Okay? Go to your fucking tarot reader, you fucking idiot. Go fucking do a palm reading, right? Go to the what's it called? The people, women love this one. What's it called? What is it called? What is it called? Is it astrology? I don't know if that's the name for it, okay? But like zodiac, right? Go to your zodiac chart. That's what I meant to say. Go to your zodiac if you believe in that so damn much, right? And this whole that blurred that I just read out. This is the similar thing, right? So it says sorcery and enchantments. You want to be part of Esau's world. At a higher level, even in quote unquote righteousness. Okay, I just again, this is something else I heard from another brother. If you want to make it high in firefighter, right, or in police officer, then of course you have to partake in their rituals that let you become the chief of state or whatever the fuck, chief of police, whatever the fuck it's called, man. I don't know the titles, and they don't mean nothing. Okay, but even in quote unquote righteousness, right? A job where you want to save people, you still got to partake. If you want to go high enough, you still got to partake in wickedness, okay? And you can't escape it in this world, man. You try to go too far, you try to get too much, right? Especially in this world, it's only going to bring you to places you just don't want to be, okay? So that's one thing that I wanted to read regarding all of that stuff. And then this one's pretty similar. Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 10, then we'll go to 12. It reads, there shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass to the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Right? Divination. Okay, I don't know how people fucking get to that. And honestly, I don't care to search it up. Okay? Witchcraft, enchantments, people and their familiar spirits. Look at necromancy, right? You fucking, well, you know me personally, before I got into this truth, necromancy, I see the word necromancy, I said, damn, that's a class in a video game or something. Right? You never think that people would try that in real life. Okay, you never think that it's a real thing that was happening in real life. But yeah, people are partaking. Okay, and Yahweh Shai said is a abomination. Okay, maybe now, maybe less, right? Maybe it's still going on, who knows? But the other things like divination, witchcraft, enchantments, right? Turning letters into numbers and planning your whole life around it, right? Trying to create your own destiny, right? Which is what the and even if it's not you doing it, trust and believe is a fucking small hatter in the background, you know, doing that, right? They even do that with the market, right? The market will go up on certain dates at certain times after certain news comes out with certain numbers being flashed. Yeah, everything is touched in this, right? Even there was one year where what's his name? He's a popular football quarterback. He's an Edomite dude. Not Patrick. I don't know his name, but um, and it was the Super Bowl too. Everything down to the freaking coin flip was scripted, right? Then the guy passed 666, so like a 666 touchdowns in his career, blah 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 blah, and then of course he won because of that. Like, bang, you know. I'm telling you, man. Do you think Prince made that song "I Would Die for You" for 21 and then expect to die on the April 21st? Like, there's wickedness behind anything that's a moneymaker. There's a small hat behind it. You know, controlling, pulling strings. Okay, say, stay out of it, man. It really is really not worth it. Okay. Um, let's go Nahum chapter 3 verse 4, and it reads, "Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts." Okay, and this describes many different nations. Just you know you see it on the TV. You see these things happening. You just don't even pick up on it. Okay, you think, "Oh, this is organic," or it's all like coincidence. Well, so you get for you're spiritually dead, right? Spiritually asleep. You don't see past I guess what you see on the TV screen. You don't think that these things are true wickedness being played out right in front of your face. Okay, and you know I started the video with that LeBron one. That is not the last time you're gonna hear some fuck shit like that. That's not the last time you're gonna hear about it in sports. Okay. Uh, they even got a guy on if you know anything about underground music, they got or in underground music or TikTok. That general, that age group entertainment bullshit. You know, it'll be Jake partaking, right? And personal testimony, by the way. First of all, let me just finish what I wanted to say. Is on TikTok and in the underground scene, there's a guy, right, who's part of a runners club. So that's his organization, and the comments just joke about it like it means nothing. Like, "Oh my God, you sold his soul." And they'll go through their humiliation rituals maybe on certain dates. Maybe their jacket has a certain number. You could see it, and then all of a sudden they do numbers on Spotify, or they do numbers with their views, or they get into streaming, and lots of people watch them whole time. You know what happened in the background, whether you know exactly or not. I mean, you know, and then you get tapped in with other people who they're wicked, right? I mean, what do you think? What do you think happened, right? Whether it's actually selling your soul or partaking in the witchcraft, whatever, right? These things are very real. Either way, my like I was gonna say, my personal testimony, obviously, way before I was in this truth. Okay, um, there's this, like, I think he's maybe a fashion designer or something. I don't know exactly what he does, but and I think the guy's from New York. Okay, his name is. Bear with me. It's a weird name. His name is Ass Pizza. Okay, and you could just fucking search it up now. Okay, he's still doing the same thing. I wish I took a screenshot and saved our conversation. I don't know if it was Instagram or some. I DM'd him somewhere, and I asked him like, "Hey man, that number is 7:30. Like, are you doing gematria? Because I know this is on everything." And like I don't know what it was. It might have been like maybe something he reposted had like certain words, and then I put those words in the calculator. Oh, see, I just said the name, right? But I just said the name of this witchcraft that these small hats do. So fuck it, right? There's no point in hiding it anymore. It's like I said, it's gematria. And yeah, I asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, how do you know about it?" And I told him whatever, and I said, "So like, who else you know that like does this?" Or I asked him something similar like that, and he never got back to me after that. But he admitted, right? And he's young, right? He's like my age, and this was a few years back. So young, kids are getting into this. Of course, Jake, man, Jake for the pursuit of wealth and fame. Of course, they're getting into it, right? And that runners club, I'm pretty sure it's ran by a Issacharite. Okay, I think I'll just say his name. His name is Elijah Walker. Right, surrounds himself around Jake. Different tribes. Surrounds himself around lots of Judites. Young black kids. Black rappers. Right, Northwest, which is Kim and Kanye's daughter. There's another guy, Edward. I'm just naming off names now. Maybe you know or not, but man, all this is witchcraft, okay? And they're really laughing in your people's face, right? Whole time, see the whole time those names I mentioned, right? Of those names I mentioned, there's one guy. His name is Edward Skeletrix, okay? And he's admitted already that he does rituals either before or in his music to make the people like it. And guess what? The music gets plays, right? So you're playing with this witchcraft, right? You're playing with these sorceries, enchantments. Maybe you're dealing with astrology, divination, or maybe whatever wickedness you're partaking in. Yeah, it works in this world, but I mean, I just read the scriptures, okay? I just read the scriptures, and and hey, whether you know or not, you should stay away from these things. Okay, now for you Israelites, of course, we know, right? For you Israelites who know you're Israelite, it's more high of a chance that you do know. Okay, but regardless of that, man, people are partaking. All right, people are into these things like people are into these things like. It's their only way to make it. Okay, and that's a lie that has been sold to Jacob, right? Especially here in Babylon, right? Chase your dreams, do whatever it takes to accomplish your dreams. Okay, the American dream: money, cars, bitches, drugs. You know, and whole time, you know, you're doing it in wickedness, right? You're using wicked means to get past, right? Sometimes it goes as far as unaliving other people, right? There's a big thing where people say Kanye did his mom in, and that's why he's where he is now, right? Who knows, man? Who freaking knows? But they partake, man. To get anywhere higher level in Esau society, right? To play ball, right? No pun intended, right? It sounded like BAAL, but I meant play ball like basketball, right? To play ball at a high level. Come on, you gotta sign contracts. You gotta stay quiet about what you see, or else they'll just take you out. No big deal to them. Okay. Either way, I think I said what I wanted to say, at least. And it's wickedness, man. It's wickedness in high places with the sports, with the music, with the entertainment, the TV. Esau and his sword, man. It's more than just a physical thing. Okay, the main ones that affect the masses. Yeah, okay. The food is all poisoned. The water's all poisoned. Right. The weapons they're being used on each other for unrighteous reasons. You know, but Esau and his sword, man, he'll take it. He'll try to come for your soul too. Okay, and his ultimate sword, right? His ultimate attack, which he hasn't released yet, is that MOTB. Okay, which is soon to be. That rhyme, but that MOTB, when that comes out, you know, he'll perceive it as if he has full control, full uh, ownership of you. Although right now, even right with your driver's license, your birth certificate, you damn near does, right? But now when he puts this chip, he'll know your temperature, he'll know your this, your that. Who knows? Maybe these chips will come equipped with a self-destruct button which releases poison. You don't have full control from a single button, right? On your whole life. And yeah, that's the one sin you cannot well, I think there's another one you can't repent from, but that's one thing that's the ultimate sword that is yet to come. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Esau and his sword. Okay, this is what the title will be, and I'll make it Esau and his sword extends further than just carnal things. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. That's a good one. So call Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. I want to say double honors to the elders who have taught me this 100% truth. I want to say shalom to the Akim who are laboring in this same truth, spreading it far and wide to the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the few sincere sisters who are listening and learning in silence. Esau's sword extends further. No, I'll name it Esau's sword pierces more than just carnal things. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, okay? Shalom.